then you leave a little space for hell. And I really believe that.
Don't you think when things are happening, like something like Nazi Germany, I would imagine that during that time, the people that were not in support of it felt helpless. Whether you're in Germany, you're a part of this country is turning towards this horrible situation where Jewish people are being put on trains, and the people that didn't speak out in that, I don't necessarily know if it's a lack of discipline or just complete fear and paralysis
it's a fear for sure. I mean,
knowledge of how to deal with it or what to do, and
too,
wanting to protect your family as well, so not wanting to step out of line.
Absolutely. That's the thing. The problem is that if you're going to forestall that sort of thing, you have to do it early. Because the longer you wait, the higher the price you pay for it.
But isn't it it's hard to take that jump early because you're not exactly sure where it's going?
That's true. And you're also likely to be jumped on. Yes. I mean, you can see that happening in our own culture. You make a mistake on Twitter or even something that isn't a mistake, and you can pay what feels to be a pretty high price. Right. Now, whether it is a high price or not is hard to tell because Twitter is so weirdly fictional. It's so hard to get a grasp on exactly what's going on.
Well, it's also your comprehension of what is your emotional reaction to people that you don't know being mean to you. Like this is like what is that price?
Well,
and some people want to dismiss that as being just nothing. It's not that big a deal, but it is a big deal. It causes people to commit suicide. I mean, it has absolutely. Bullying online has caused many people to commit suicide.
Well, the thing is, the weird thing about that online communication is that, like, I find that I tend to react to a negative Twitter comment as if it's someone sitting across from me talking to me that I know. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not, and I don't even know if the person is real because the accounts are often anonymous, right? So that person isn't really real. But your emotional response is still, someone's gone out of their way to be harshly critical to you.
Right.
And that doesn't happen that often in your day-to-day life. And so, if you're a reasonable person, you're very sensitive to criticism because it's rare and because you might be wrong, especially if there's a lot of people criticizing you, because you kind of have to be psychopathic in order just to brush that off. It's like, 100 people think I'm wrong. There's nothing to that. It's like, if it's 100 people out of 100 million, but you can't tell on Twitter, then it's irrelevant. But if it's a mob of 100 people that show up outside your house, which is quite kind of what Twitter feels like, then you think, God, I must have done something wrong because otherwise why would all these people be here?
Right.
And I think that's why so many people are driven to apologize, when they do something on Twitter or do something and then the Twitter mobs go after them, they think, oh God, I must have done something wrong. I should do some soul searching. And so some of that's not even fear. It's more like, it's in a sense, it's a morality that's misplaced because of our inability to calibrate the social messaging. I mean, I've almost completely stopped reading Twitter comments in the last month. And I'm definitely better for it.
It makes you way happier, right?
Oh yeah, it's too much. It's too much.
Crazy.
It's too crazy.
Well, what is your number up to now? The number of followers you
have?
About
1 million on Twitter.
Yeah, that's when it's about time to get out of Dodge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I'm still following people and reading what people are posting, but no, the comments, I'm just
not worth it.
No, it's not. And I think it does have something to do with the technology itself. Like, I do believe that small limit facilitates angry, impulsive responding.